So where are the kids today? Show me your hands, and then stand up and come here. That's right. Did you notice that we changed something this morning? We did. What did we change? Well, that's the change I told you about. What's the change I didn't tell you about? Did you notice? What? It was just now. What did we do differently? The red chandelier? What's different? I don't think anything's different. When did we pass the tray? We passed the tray earlier while I was finishing getting Holy Communion ready. So I want you all to notice that, because when they're done passing the tray, even if I haven't come out yet, you're allowed to come up here for the sermon, okay? Can you do that? Can you get ready before? All right. So, what were we talking about? Who remembers? Samson. We talked about Samson a while ago, and then after Samson, who did we talk about? Right, we talked about David. And last week we talked about how he had the chance to stab King Saul while he was going to the bathroom, right? You remember that? I would think you would remember that. That's a weird thing, right? And he decided not to. He was going to wait and not raise his hand in violence against the king that God had chosen, even if the king had turned bad. So we're going to kind of hurry through the end of the story of David, because eventually King Saul died. He went to war with the Philistines, and he lost, and he was killed. And eventually David became the king of all the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And he reigned as the king for 40 years. But eventually, he died. And his son became king after him. Does anybody know what the name of David's son is? Samuel. It's actually close. Anybody else want to make a guess? He's supposed to have been the wisest man to ever live. And he built the temple. So there's 2 hints. Anybody know the name? His name was Solomon. Have you ever met anyone named Solomon? Nope, me neither. I don't think I ever met anyone named Solomon. Now Solomon, when he became king, this is what I want to read to you. When he became king, God appeared to him in a dream, and God said to Solomon, "Ask what you want me to give you." So how's that? God comes to him in a dream and says, "Anything you want, you can ask for it." And Solomon said, "Well, you already showed my father, David, your servant, great mercy. You gave him everything that he needed, because he walked before you in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart, and you kept for him great kindness. You were so gracious to him that you let his son sit on his throne." So he says, "You were already very nice to my dad. And now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king instead of David my father, and I am only a little child. I don't know how to go out or how to come in." He says, "I don't know how to do this job. And your servant is in the midst of your people, which you have chosen, a great people that can't be numbered or counted, because there's so many of them." So Solomon says to God, "So what I want from you, please, is give to me an understanding heart, so that I can judge your people and understand what is good and what is bad. Because without your help," he says, "how can I tell what I should do for such a great people?" And God said to him, "Now, that's a good thing to ask for, because you didn't ask for long life or riches or victory over your enemies, and instead have asked for understanding and wisdom. Behold," God says, "I will give you wisdom as you've asked. And I'll also give you the things you didn't ask for, riches and honor and long life. So Solomon had all of these good things because he asked for wisdom before anything. Does that make sense? Can you imagine having that happen to you? God comes to you in a dream and says, "What do you want? You can have anything at all that you want." What would you ask for? Watermelon? I like watermelon. What would you ask for? A cat? Oh, very good. Anybody else want to volunteer what you'd ask for? Okay, that's clever. For humankind to have never fallen into sin. That's quite an ask. Anybody else? What would we ask for? Well, Solomon was wise already, and he asked for wisdom because he knew he had a heavy burden to bear and he needed help. So he asked for wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom, God blessed him and gave him everything else that he might need. So as you go through life, as you grow up, remember there are lots of things you can ask for. Watermelon is great. Cats are wonderful. And to be free of sin, there are reasons that, that's more complicated. Thank you. But to ask for wisdom from the Lord is always a good thing to ask for. Does that make sense? All right, now stand up and let's take communion.